Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is a 2022 film that just the other day, as I am recording this, won Best Picture of the Year for 2023. This is directed by Daniels. I always want to say The Daniels, but everywhere I look, it's always just Daniels, which is two guys named Daniel with different last names. And this stars Michelle Yeoh, as well as, if I'm pronouncing correctly, Ke Huy Quan, who is famous for being a child actor in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and The Goonies, the little guy with the fanny pack. That's probably where most people are going to recognize this guy from. Very good actor. He took a break from acting and decided to do a lot of choreography, which you will definitely realize in this film when you see his character and the stuff that he can do. So good. And then we have Stephanie Hsu in here as well, playing Joy, which is Michelle Yeoh's daughter in the film. And I'm sure everybody by now, by this recording, has at least heard of this film because of the goofy title and because of how wacky it is and because it won Best Picture. So I'm sure at least everybody's familiar with it. But if you haven't seen it, I absolutely urge you to. With that being said, this is certainly not a film for everybody, and a lot of people are going to despise this movie. It's a little bit hard to describe everything that it is, Everywhere All at Once, but the simple premise is pretty basic. It starts off, I'd say in the first 15 to 20 minutes, as a drama, and you're basically going into it feeling like this is going to be like a a character piece or a study on a family about this mother played by Michelle Yeoh. Her name is Evelyn. She runs a laundromat with her husband, and they are struggling to pay taxes, and they are being threatened with foreclosure and stuff like that. And they have a daughter named Joy, and Joy is dating a girl, and she wants to open up about dating this girl and introduce this girl to her family, but her family is old-fashioned, conservative, Chinese immigrant kind of thing. A little bit hard to do so. And it basically starts off that way, and you play off and getting to know this family for the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then they go to a IRS company, and Jamie Lee Curtis is also in this film, and she plays like the IRS lady who's, an extreme bitch, very like dry and snobby kind of thing. She's such a good actress in this movie, and she plays such a good character in a way that you've never really seen Jamie Lee Curtis play. Like, her character is very unique, and she plays obviously different versions of herself. If nobody knew, this film deals with different dimensions, so it is very confusing as well, but every actor and actress in this film plays different characters of different versions of themselves, kind of thing, because we're dealing with parallel dimensions. Anyway, getting a little bit ahead of myself, Dexter. At the IRS office, something really strange happens, and the husband, played by Ke Huy Quan, his name is Wayland, he gets kind of, not possessed, but his body gets taken over by him in a different dimension, and he warns Evelyn, played by Michelle Yeoh, that the multiverse is in danger and that it's up to her to save it, kind of thing. And then he goes back to normal, and every time they switch bodies, most often they forget, like, they're themselves again, so they forget being kind of possessed by somebody else or a different version of themselves. And right from that moment, the film just opens up into the most bonkers, most, it's still a drama. It still has a lot of heart. It's definitely an art house film, but in the vein of like a Marvel movie. It just goes bananas. Again, with the parallel dimension stuff, like, this film at no point reaches its limit, because when you think it's gone as far as it's going to go, it takes one more step or two. It really, really does. I mean, there's scenes where you're sitting there and they're like, they actually went there. Like, they did that. Like, I'll get into spoilers, but that's going to be like the basic premise for anybody who hasn't seen the movie. Yeah, so just going to see it, at least stream it if you find it somewhere streaming, or if it comes to Netflix or something. Like, give it a chance at least, and watch it until you're like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore, if it's not your thing. But this is an A24 release. I don't know if I said that already, but it feels a little bit different than A24 films because of its like wild side. So it's definitely comical. It's definitely very cartoonish, entertaining. It's all live action, but it goes places. It goes places that you don't think it's gonna go. There's like it genre bends kind of thing. There's martial arts going on. There's drama. There's action. There's comedy. It's filled with comedy. You know, it's a certain brand of comedy. Not everybody's gonna laugh. Or I've spoken or heard for some people that didn't find this movie funny at all. But it's definitely loaded with comedy for sure. And it just it takes a lot of risks. And for me, they all worked. As I mentioned in a previous video, this is not what I was hoping for to win Best Picture. My favorite film of the year was Banshees of Inisherin. But I'm very happy that this won, and this definitely deserves the prize because it is one of the most unique films to come out in decades, I would say. There's nothing really that's been done quite like this. Even Steven Spielberg raved about this and said that he takes a lot of notes from young filmmakers and up-and-coming filmmakers rather than old proven ones in a video I caught recently. But anyways, from here on, spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out first. Or if you don't give a shit, which I suggest you don't watch the rest of this video, go watch the movie and then watch the rest of this video. But spoiler time. There's a lot of things, like I said, that just, when it came on screen, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? But it works. Such as the rock scene. The rock scene was hilarious, where it's two rocks looking out in the desert, and apparently in some other universe, Joy and Evelyn, played by Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie Sue, are rocks, and they're just chilling and they're talking to each other with subtitles, and they don't have voices because they're rocks, but they're communicating with each other and joking around with each other while looking to the horizon. It's so freaking funny. The martial arts scenes are fantastic. Like I said, Ke Huy Quan, his like fanny pack fight, and obviously the fanny pack is a throwback to the Goonies. And his wink to the camera, he kind of breaks that fourth wall in the best way. And his choreography, like I said, you can tell that this guy has spent years learning choreography and teaching choreography and working with choreography behind the scenes, because it's incredible. I mean, I'm not going to put this at like the Raid level choreography, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's very, very close to that. And they do it more goofy. Like, that's the thing. They don't take it as serious as a actual martial arts movie would take things, but his fanny pack fight is just so well done, and all the choreography is so well done. And like I said, goofy style. I mean, there's that one scene, because they have very random ways to dimension jump. I think they call it jumping pads, and basically you have to do the most random thing you can think of, and this is where I said it gets like goofy. The things that you have to do to jump dimensions, like you have to like break your arm, and then the green light on the little device that they all have in their ears will go green, and you press it and they jump dimensions. But you have to do the stupidest thing. Like, one guy has to basically shove a butt plug looking trophy into his ass. So they have that whole choreography fight going on while he's trying to get this butt plug shaped trophy into his ass, and he's bouncing on it trying to get it there, and Michelle Yeoh's trying to stop him, and they're having this stupid ass, really well done choreography fight, but with this ridiculous theme going on. And one guy's sitting on a scanner where you scan papers in a business office, and he's trying to scan his ass because that's how he's gonna teleport jump. One person sniffs a fly, because like a fly, bzzz, because that's how she's gonna teleport jump. I wrote down some of them. Paper cuts. Ke Huy Quan's character, Wayland, has to like paper cut his hand 5 times. He says to Michelle Yeoh at one point, one way you can teleport and jump right now that I'm hearing is you can take a nap. Are you getting tired? Just everything you can think of, like I said. Everything, everywhere, all at once. There is a film that I never reviewed on the channel, but currently this is in my top 10 favorite films of all time. It's called Mr. Nobody, and Mr. Nobody stars Jared Leto, and this came out, I think, in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. It is an amazing film, and it deals with the same kind of premise this one does, in the sense that the butterfly effect and the chaos theory, depending on what decision you make through life, you can end up in a million places in a million different universes, kind of parallel times kind of thing. It's just more tame. It's still a huge premise, like it's a mindfuck, just like this one is, but this one takes it like Marvel level with the effects and the visuals and everything, whereas Mr. Nobody is slightly more grounded for a concept like that. But I've always loved Mr. Nobody. Like I said, it's in my top 10 of all time. Still, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to kind of move films around, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. But a this is like Mr. Nobody cranked to level 11 kind of thing. So I really appreciated that. In some of the martial arts scenes in here, you get a lot, in my opinion, of Kill Bill style and Kill Bill influences. I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident, but I definitely noticed it with the music in the background and the way some of the green screens were lit and shot. I definitely felt Kill Bill styles going on. The Rakakuni reference was probably the most genius and clever and best nod you could put in here. In a different dimension, instead of Ratatouille, it was Rakakuni. So instead of a friggin' rat, it was a raccoon on the chef's head. And they really play that out multiple times. They don't just make the Rakakuni reference once, which is hilarious already, but they play it out because in a different dimension there was an actual chef that Michelle Yeoh's character in a different dimension worked with, and he actually had a raccoon on his head, and he actually cooked better by being guided by this freaking raccoon on his head. So they make a freaking Disney movie, or is it Pixar? Ratatouille. I forget if it's Disney or Pixar. Regardless, everybody knows Ratatouille, I hope. Into Rakakuni in a different dimension. Genius. I mean, geniusly clever and so friggin' good. The daughter Joy, when her like alpha dimension self she plays a villain, and her name is Jobu Tubaki, I think. She is every cosplay fanboy's wet dream. Need I say more? I mean, the way they dress this chick up, and she's gorgeous. This girl's in her early 30s, by the way, during filming of this, and she looks like she's like 20. Asians just don't age. It's just the way it goes. I mean, the grandpa in here, the guy who plays the grandpa, he's 90 fucking 4, and he looks fantastic. It's insane. Insanity. Him and Stephanie Hsu look so good. And yeah, like I said, every cosplay fanboy's wet dream. I mean, the outfit she wears, she's straight out of friggin' a convention. Every time she's on screen as that villain character, you even want to root for her because she's so friggin' good looking and funny and charming and hilarious. Even though she wants to like destroy the entire multiverse, you're still kind of like, you know what? Go for it. Not really, but she's hot as hell. That's basically what I'm getting at. Yeah, the hot dog finger world, that got really popular all over social media and pop culture in one universe. I'm going to be getting to a point too, but in one universe, Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis's character are together. They're a couple, and they have hot dog fingers in this world, and they even have a plot device to explain why. And through evolution, during like that 2001: A Space Odyssey monkey fight thing, one of the monkeys clobbered to death the only monkey that had regular hands. So that monkey died with regular hands, and every other monkey had hot dog fingers. So that's how we evolved. So people now have hot dog fingers and got really good with their feet. So Jamie Lee Curtis is like amazing at the piano, but she plays with her friggin' feet. I'm telling you, man, how many drugs these guys took to make this movie? Probably a lot, but maybe zero, because it's possible to have a wild-ass imagination. Trust me, I know, without doing drugs. Trust me, I know. I've never been a drug guy. I've been a drinker, but never been a drug guy. And I've always had like a rapid, wild imagination, so. Could have been sober and made this movie, the Daniels, or Daniels. I should keep on saying Daniels because that's how they seem to like to go by. Yeah, the point I was making, okay, I listen to Daily Wire a lot, and they are very pro to, like, make fun of the Oscars kind of thing, and one of the Daily Wire members claimed that this film is like woke as hell kind of thing. I didn't find it, and I am like, I push woke away kind of thing. I didn't notice in this movie. Yeah, you have the daughter with the, being dating a girl, being a lesbian plot, but it's not like shoved in your face. There's nothing in this film that's shoved in your face. And I was going to get to the point about Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis being together. That didn't strike me. Honestly, I thought Jamie Lee was her mom. Not that Jamie Lee looks a ton older than Michelle Yeoh, but I thought that Michelle Yeoh in that universe was Jamie Lee's daughter in that universe. Because because of the way they were dressed, because of their hairstyles. I don't know. It was just, it didn't wrap around my mind that they were a couple as well and they were dating. I don't know if that's because, I don't know, it just didn't strike me. But did this film strike me as woke? Not at all. Not in the slightest. There's the concept at the end or throughout the movie, where they're trying to get the old-fashioned grandpa to accept modern times and to accept the daughter's girlfriend, but the daughter is very nervous about this because the grandpa's old-fashioned and all that, obviously. And I get that. And they tried to make it seem like, people, like especially older people from older generations, need to accept the modern times and stuff like that. I didn't find that woke. I found that corny. I found that a little bit cheesy and kind of forced, maybe, but not woke. I didn't find it woke at all. I found it forced in the sense because you're never going to teach a dog old tricks. Like, it's just not going to happen. I understand people want it, and they want grandma and grandpa to accept, modern concepts and kind of modernize themselves a little bit. But honestly, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It just doesn't happen. And they shouldn't be forced to either. Like, there should be a middle ground in everything. You can't just go to grandpa and be like, accept my let's say boyfriend if I was gay, or you're a bigot and you're a fascist and you're a piece of shit. Like, it doesn't really work that way. He's from a totally different time, so I don't know. It's tough, but there's a middle ground for those things. So my point being, I just found that more convenient for a plot point than woke. I've seen woke. This film is not woke. And that word is just a buzzword these days anyway. It's borderline losing its meaning completely. But I like how a lot of this film takes place in an office, but the office always changes because they're jumping through dimensions and everything. The security guards are hilarious. I like that bald security guard that jumps with his pants down, and again, he wants to put that fucking trophy in his ass and he wants to land right on it. Fucking hilarious. This film is divided in 3 parts, but every time each part happens, I forgot that it was divided into 3 parts, and then it'll say part 2, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, this movie's in chapters. And then part 3 came around, and I'm like, oh fuck. And part 3 is like 5 minutes long. And before they even introduced part 1, we're already like 12 minutes into the movie. It's kind of funny how they did that like that. I love how they roll the credits in the middle of the movie as a joke. That made me laugh. I like when films like play around with the traditional like ways movie play out and then flip it on its head kind of thing to trick the audience, in a sense. I like that. Do I have anything else to say? I mean, this film's jam-packed. I feel like I barely scratched the surface with a film like this. Yeah, like I said, just the dimension jumping stuff is fantastic. The grandpa, I love how he starts off like very old man Chinese, just speaks Chinese, and then he starts speaking English when he gets on his like super wheelchair, and he speaks like perfect English. So this actor obviously speaks extremely fluent English. He barely has an accent even. Drops the F-bomb, which is really random. I'm one of those people who always, even like, I always get taken aback when an old person says fuck. Just, it doesn't matter who they are. if they look like, they're a elderly senior and they drop the F-bomb, I find it funny. But lots of seniors, or lots of people can be considered seniors and not act like seniors, so there's that. But you know who I'm talking about, the very like frail, polite grandpa, grandma looking people, and they're like, what the fuck? It's funny, okay, it's funny. But yeah, it looks like I got through all my notes. Doesn't look like much else to talk about, and it's a great movie that I loved. Not my favorite of the year. That was Banshees. I'll be covering Banshees on this channel for sure. I just want to get the physical copy of it, and I have a spoiler-free review, just a brief review on it on the channel already if you want to go check that out. But that was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Daniels, they also did a movie called Swiss Army Man that had Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano in it, and I watched it a while ago, and I didn't pay the most attention to it. Again, it's a very bonkers movie, much more grounded than this one, but still a goofy concept. I want to watch it again before I could give any thoughts to it. I like I said, I just didn't absorb it enough and pay enough attention to really give my thoughts to it, but it was good from what I remember. I want to give it that second watch. So I will check out anything by Daniels that they come out with, and this is a great start to their career too. Not start to their career, but boost to their career, I should say. And real good stuff. I mean, one of the most unique films you can get, so it definitely deserves a chance, if anything. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. So I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for that. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.